Computers surround our lives in 2023. They adopt both a passive and active role in our lives, with computers becoming more active than we are outside sometimes. With media being easily accessible in our lives, it's easy to take for granted the messages contained in the media we consume. For example, how has media portrayal of computers changed over time? Have people thought the same about computers since the 80s? The now arguably classic movie 2001: Space Odyssey provides a unique glimpse into the portrayal of computers of the past. The movie is prefaced with our primitive origins. This sets the tone for the upcoming themes revolving around computers. After a 20-minute preface, our first portrayal of computers is shown. What is notable about these scenes is that computers take a passive role in everyone's lives. At 23 minutes into the movie, a flight controls dashboard is on display with an IBM logo. To explain the significance of this scene, a little historical context is needed. The movie is adapted to a book that was written in 1968. During those times, computer innovation was in its infancy stages and was gaining traction fast. To give some examples, 1956, direct keyboard input was introduced by MIT. Simultaneously, IBM is spearheading the first generation of computer AI research with the IBM 702. At the end of 1957, Libroscope General Precision bought the MENIAC design, a compact general-purpose computer. 1961, the IBM 7000 series mainframe computers are completed. Their computers are the first to use transistors that made AI research easier. 1962, MIT creates a personal computer among a handful of early designs. The list continues on. Improvements in computing are by the year. People were thinking about computers and what it means for the future. In a way, it makes the 1968 Space Odyssey book look like an exploration of what the future might be, and it shows in the movie. Going back to the flight controls dashboard, there are some parallels to be drawn to our current time in 2023. The dashboard is reminiscent of the F-18 fighter jet heads-up display. It shows the movie has some accuracy when they depict computers of the future. Onto the meat and potatoes of the movie, HAL 9000. There are many ways to analyze HAL 9000 that won't fit into this project. But HAL 9000 is where the movie draws the line between computers having a passive role in our lives and an active role in our lives. The portrayal of computers having an active role in our lives is characterized as a creepy and catastrophic failure, a failure that leads to the definite loss of life. This is where the famous movie quote comes from. It really leans into the trope of computers have gone too far. When put into the context of our primitive origins, the message the movie is sending is that a computer that is smarter than us with great amounts of control is self-destruction. Let's look at other examples from the previous 3 decades. An example that is more positive about computers is the 1995 movie Under Siege 2. They feature a scene where the main character has to hack into a server system for important information.
Working tomorrow. Damn it. Let's see here. Access encoded. Gigabyte of RAM should do the trick. We're in. Alright, what do we got?
The movie paints computers as magic wands that can open any network door you want. It's indicative of the public's understanding of computers of the times, which is minimal. This scene is infamous for being highly inaccurate to how computers work. In the TV series called Silicon Valley, the portrayal of computers is something that's integrated with life, where people are already aware of common pitfalls and errors that occur with regular computer usage.
We want AT&T to see a thriving company. If you really make a concerted effort at outreach and team building, you could get your numbers up.
Tracy, I appreciate you wanting to participate in the world of numbers. I find it endearing. But yours are horseshit. They measure nothing. If I wanted to, I could have all tens by the end of the week.
Guilfoyle, metrics like Piper Pulse are a widely accepted measure of how your peers feel about you.
Speaking of Monica, your interpersonal is at a 2.
What?
In a 2019 episode, the character named Guilfoyle was hacking into his company's system to boost his performance rating. But he had to do social engineering to find people's passwords, which paints computers in a realistic light, because hacking purely using computers is incredibly difficult.
I was social engineering them. Once trust is established, the social engineer simply offers up information and the subject will reciprocate. Pets' names, kids' names, birthdays. Then, that information is entered into a word list generator. Pop it with their hash into John the Ripper, and within minutes, you have their passwords.
So you're just gonna change all your scores to tens?
Yep.
A modern example with very realistic depictions of computers is the 2019 TV series Mr. Robot. Here I show a clip of an expert reviewing the validity and realism of a scene portrayed in Mr. Robot.
Forensic software. I'm gonna rate this scene at 9 out of 10. I'm only deducting the 1 point just because of how fast everything happened and how quickly those hackers let Elliot jump into their CTF game.
Looking at the start of the 21st century to now, there is a shift in how computers are perceived in media and in the messages being sent. Modern media tends to take a more realistic and practical approach when it comes to computers, whereas computers in the past were considered a mystical thing.